Japan is bracing for the arrival of a powerful typhoon that's threatening to bring heavy rains and strong winds to the most southern main island. A heavy rain has already triggered landslides in central Japan, leaving 3 people missing. Officials have warned that Typhoon Shanshan is, quote, extremely strong, and they've told hundreds of thousands of residents to be ready to evacuate. Japan's weather agency says the typhoon could make landfall on Thursday. Let's get across to Sonia Blaszka, a journalist who's been traveling in the south of Japan near Fukuoka. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. How is this storm affecting you?
Well, yesterday we were at the volcano Aso, which is a bit further in the southern part of the Kyushu island, and we're actually advised to leave the area rather sooner than later because we were intending to stay near there, but they said you had better go to the northern part of Kyushu because of the strong typhoon moving slowly up towards where we are now. At the moment, it's still relatively quiet. There's little wind. There's been some rain, but it's still okay. But tomorrow, the wind and the rain is expected to be very strong. Most likely they will disrupt the Shinkansen, the fast train services. There are also likely going to be cancellations of flights. So we will actually be leaving Fukuoka right after this to go to Hiroshima. So yes, people are bracing for the arrival. We just went to buy some water in a shop where they had some food and supplies on display. And local authorities have asked people to really get supplies to prepare for the arrival of the really strong typhoon.
Okay, so you'll be moving up from Fukuoka to Hiroshima. Can you just paint a picture for us?
Yes.
Which areas in Japan we are expecting to be most affected by this typhoon?
It's a really strange one this time. Most of the country has been affected already and will be affected. Even yesterday, areas around 1,000 kilometers north of the center of the typhoon received very heavy rain. Cars were really underwater till the tire height, I would say, even though they were super far away. And in the south of Japan, in Kagoshima, and especially the smaller islands, there's always a huge risk when typhoons approach because of power outages. The houses are not as strong as one would like to have them during a typhoon. And especially in the rural areas, people need to be alert or aware of the risk of landslides.
We know in central Japan there are 3 people missing after a landslide. What else can you tell us about the situation?
I mean, typhoons, or Japan, I should say, is somewhat accustomed to typhoons. September is typhoon season, so the authorities have been preparing and are prepared. They're preparing shelters and food. They've canceled meetings that weren't very urgent. Companies have canceled work for tomorrow and the day after. So it's a bit of a, it's almost like a break of normal life, so to speak, to really make sure that everyone remains safe.
And what are residents being told about what they can do to prepare for more potential flooding and landslides?
Everybody, including myself, actually, we've been receiving alerts to our mobile phones saying, you need to be aware of the trajectory of the typhoon. You should get enough water and food. Make sure that you know where the shelters are. Maybe prepare and move away from your home early on. Don't wait until the typhoon arrives, but make sure you go, for example, to a designated town hall and so on. So. Usually in Japan, as I said, they have experience with this, and considering the extent and the strength of the typhoon, this one seems to be really much stronger than the usual, especially because it affects such a wide area. So yeah, preparations are ongoing, and people are glued to their phones. I would almost say glued to screens, and trying to guess where the typhoon is moving next.
Well, Sonia, you take care. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. That is Sonia Blaszka, a journalist, joining us now from Japan.